this, I spoke with Michael Pento, president and founder of Pento Portfolio Strategies, and I asked him if Greece is going to ultimately keep its side of the bargain.
Well, how could you have a deal if one side of the whole half of the negotiating party hasn't submitted what they want to agree to as far as austerity is concerned? So there is no deal. As a matter of fact, this letter was this list of austerity agreements from the Syriza government was supposed to go to the EU today. It's been delayed until tomorrow. So that tells me that Cyprus does not want to tell the Greek people that they've completely caved in to the Germans. And there is a very good reason for that delay, in my opinion. The Syriza government is a leftist, a radical leftist government, and they have a mandate from their electorate. And number one in that mandate was to renegotiate, write down Greek debt owed to the ECB.
Yeah. Look, they don't like it. They think the deal was far too pro-Europe, if you will. Tell our audience, explain to our audience, just hold on one sec, explain to our audience why this letter matters.
Well, this letter matters because if the bailout funding is going to continue and there's going to be a 4-month extension of the monies given to Greece, because, by the way, Greece is broke. They don't have any money left to run their government. If there's going to be any more euros given to the Greek government, they have to agree to certain amount of austerity measures laid out by the European Commission, the IMF, and the ECB, known as the Troika. And guess what? The mandate from the Greek population is we want to spend more. We want to increase wages to the middle class and the lower classes. We want free electricity. We want the ECB to directly monetize Greek debt. We want to increase the number of employees in the public sector. We do not want pension reforms. This was the reason why the Syriza government was put in place. And for the Greek people to have Cyprus go to the EU and say, we will bow down to our German masters, is completely untenable. It will not be accepted by the Greek population. And this deal is null and void, and there will be massive repercussions.
All right, Michael, hang on. Michael, hang on. Let me read you a quote from the German foreign minister.
Schäuble, yes.
If Athens wants to see changes on individual points, then that's okay. But if these changes lead to further spending, they need to save elsewhere or look to gather more revenue. When you read between the lines, and between the words on this one, does it seem like Germany is accommodating whatever Greece might demand?
Well, here's where I come down on it. I think Germany is allowing Greece to have a little bit of wiggle room, but you have to understand the context of the Syriza's government election. They were put in place for a very specific purpose, and that was to thumb their noses at the Germans. They do not want any part of austerity. They want the opposite of austerity, and they want to have massive write-downs on Greek debt. And if they don't get that, then the Syriza government was a sham, and there will be, I'm afraid to say, civil unrest once again in Athens.
If they default on this deal, whether it's now or 4 months from now, they can't come to an agreement, okay?
Yes.
Do they have to essentially walk away from the euro, or would they be forced to walk away from the euro?
I think they're going to be forced to walk away from the euro. I think eventually Greece has to return to the drachma or whatever currency you call it, because the Greek population, and by the way, I am actually on the side of the Germans on this debate. I align myself with the European Union, European Commission, and the IMF. You cannot forgive this debt, because if you forgive this debt, the next in line is going to be Portugal, Ireland, Italy, Spain. Any loans from the IMF will be renegotiated if the Greeks are allowed to restructure the debt. So there is no, I know the media is out there telling you that everything's been solved, that the Greeks are going to happily go along with their German masters, but I will tell you this, it's not going to work. There is no easy escape from this. There's going to be chaos in either Greece or in these other periphery countries, and that is something I think is unfortunately virtually guaranteed.